Welcome back to the Wrasslinmaniac Podcast, guys. I'm your host, the Wrasslinmaniac himself, and tonight we're going to be talking about two of the biggest things from Saturday night's main event, which is Seth Rollins' injury. Is it a work or is he truly injured? And we're going to talk about Goldberg's last match. Did it meet his expectations or was it a flop? We'll get into it. First off, we're going to start off with Seth Rollins. Um, you know, watching that match, he looked good right at the beginning. Seth Rollins looked like he was aiming like to win the match, but it's like right in the middle of the match, he went to do a springboard knee strike, and he landed on his feet. It was like his knee buckled. Um, I've been following Seth Rollins for a long time with WWE and NXT, and the biggest thing with him is he has had a lot of knee injuries. This will be his third knee injury. Last time he tore his MCL. I'm hoping it's not that again. I'm hoping it's just maybe he just tweaked it a little bit. He can just rehab it and he can get back to it. Um, but a lot of people, on social media right now, they're saying that it looks like it's a work. It could be just to give him more time to cash in, or they want to push the cash in back a little bit longer, um, something to that nature. But last time Seth Rollins got hurt, if you paid attention to him, he was mad, throwing his arms, cussing, doing the thing that you do when you're hurt. And a fan took a video of the aftermath after the match, and yeah, he was doing the same thing when he tore his MCL. I think this is legit. I don't think this is a work. I don't think they're trying to have more time with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't think they're trying to put this in for the story. A lot of people are like, well, if he is hurt, they could use this to push up Braun Breaker, let him take over for a little bit, pushing the team and doing what he wants to do. Just showing him as a force. I think they already were doing that with Braun Breaker. They really need they don't really need to work to make that happen. Bronson Reed, he has the stories there. There's nothing big for that to happen. A lot of people are saying that they think it's a work because the match finished. But if you pay attention to how the match finished, it was a stand up. Don't put too much pressure on it. LA Knight hit the BFT, pin him. You know, get the match to end. That's just Seth Rollins being competitive. He is a competitive person. He always wants to make sure that he gives us the best show he can give us. And I do think that he is legit injured. And I think that he just wanted to make sure that we got an ending to the match and give LA Knight his win for the night. You can't get mad at the guy for that. I just think that he did a good thing in the match end like that. I think that was great. Um, like I said, I don't want to say that it's a work because, like I said, Money in the Bank. He has the contract, and if it is legit, let's talk about that for a second. If it's legit, um, he's probably gonna be out for 6 to 9 months. If it's legit, it'll kill his SummerSlam push. Any cash in is dead. Like they can't. Only thing I can see them doing, if it is legit, they could let him pass the Money in the Bank on the Braun Breaker. Let him be the one to, you know, be the threat that he already is. It'll just elevate his threat level. That way he could be stalking champions, stalking Gunther. Him and Gunther, that would be a good match to see. A good rematch for them because they have faced each other before, and I think that would be a good thing for Gunther and Braun Breaker to have a match. If he has to give the money in the bank contract up, I just don't see them letting him hold on to it because the whole thing of Money in the Bank is supposed to last for a year. If you have it longer than a year, we've never seen that happen before. Um, you know, Hopefully it's not something that will keep him, from having to hold on to it that long. Maybe he keeps it, he rehabs real good, and then on his surprise return, what they could do, they could have him surprise during the championship match, and boom, he steals the championship, he wins, boom. Or they could have him rehab up enough to where he can at least come to the ring, try to cash in, and he fails to cash in, which that would not be a good look for Seth right now when he's pretty much on top. You know, that would not be good. Even though he doesn't have the belt, he's pushing toward getting that belt, and then once he would win the belt, it would turn into him, you know, being on top. So that definitely would not be a good idea for them to, you know, let him fail his cash in. I don't think that would be a good look. Um, Now, the possibility of him passing it on to Bronson Reed, that would be good too because he has had a championship opportunity, but he hasn't held a belt. So to me, that would be a good thing for them to do. They can give it to him. He could be like, "Huh, I got it," and then cash it in with the quickness. You know what I'm saying? Like he could be like, "I want you guys to hold on to this," and he snatched the briefcase away from Seth. But like, "Yeah, I hold on to it for you. Don't you worry about it." And then by the end of the night, he cashes in, and then he becomes champion for a little bit, and then let him go on like a little run, a little title run, long enough while Seth is rehabbing for him to come back and challenge him for the belt. Like, what's happening? You know, what I'm saying? You potentially turn Seth back into a babyface, and then maybe that could be an angle that they could try too. Um, but this is only if it's legit. Uh, let's say if it's a work, like this is a work for protecting him, protecting Seth Rollins, protecting the Money in the Bank briefcase. They trying to protect that for a little bit, and then they want L.A. Knight to be the killer of legends. I don't like that angle. I know that a lot of people been throwing it out there. Let L.A. Knight go through the ranks, taking down the legends in the WWE. Kind of like what Randy Orton was on. He was the legend killer. I don't want to see them give that to LA Knight. I know LA Knight started out as being, the Rock and Stone Cold combined in one. A lot of people, they give him that, and I don't want him to be the killer of legends. I don't want him doing that. That's not for LA Knight. I don't think LA Knight should be doing that. I don't think there's a reason for us to even put him in a category if he's running through the roster, getting rid of the legends and all that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't want to see that. I don't think that's a good idea. If it is a work, don't go with that angle. Don't let LA Knight be in that, and then he's just Um, the other thing that if it was a work that a lot of people are talking about, social media moves and runs fast. So, the other angle that people are talking about is they are trying to give Roman Reigns more time to come back, so that way, Rollins get hurt, Reigns comes back, he probably gets himself back into the title shot, and then Seth is out, he's injured. The big story with those two, WrestleMania, the biggest heist of the century. He stole the championship from Roman Reigns. He does it again, wins the championship, and their feud starts all back over again, which is that's a never-ending feud for Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. And like I said, that would be amazing to see. I would be down for it if it was to work. Give Roman Reigns time to get back and then they get their feud started back up. But if it's not a work and he is legit injured, and this will be his third time going out on that same knee. I know he's been talking about retiring for a long time, and I really don't want him to do it. Nobody wants him to retire. Um, you know, Big fan of Seth Rollins from every era that he's done. Um, so I don't want to see him retire. I don't want to see him retire, but I also don't want to see him keep trying to wrestle and keep getting injured, especially with that knee, man, because you need your knees, and I know you got a daughter at home and you want to be there for her. So I don't know. Either way, if it is a work, if it ain't a work, we still wishing Seth Rollins a speedy recovery. Um, but if it is a work, it's a heavy spot for WWE and Triple H to figure out what's next. If it is legit, Because, like I said, he has the money in the bank, and I know that they have been planning on, bigging up him getting the championship by SummerSlam. That was the rumor. Um, is that he was going to be champion by SummerSlam. And held on to it for a while. That was the biggest. That's the biggest thing they've been talking about, and I hope that whatever happens, we'll find out come Monday because he is on Sevens on Raw, so we'll find out come Monday what's going on with that, and like I said, if it's legit or not. Sources right now are saying that it is legit, and like I say, so I just want to get my opinion on both sides. If it's legit, if it's a work, I just want to get both of those out there. I'm praying that it is a work, but the way it look, I'm leaning towards it's legit, and we're gonna be looking at not having Seth for at least 6 to 9 months. Um, so that'd be big, and hopefully they don't just. Um, I wouldn't mind, one other thing just throw out there real quick is I wouldn't mind if it is legit that they just be like, you know what, we're not just gonna give nobody the money in the bank briefcase. Let's have another money in the bank match for it, or let's do like a battle royale or something. I don't know. Let's do something. I won't be against a little money in the bank ladder match on Monday Night Raw. Have it on Raw. Have people just be hyped about it. Build up to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I would look forward to it. I won't be against that if they had somebody do a match for the Money in the Bank briefcase, like team, like people would go for it. I think it would be a good idea. Um, but like I said, either way, speedy recovery. Wish out to Seth Rollins, and our second segment for this episode is Goldberg's final ride. With Gunther and his last match. Goldberg has been talking about his last match for the longest. He was talking about how much who he was looking for to face. And when I was at Bad Blood, I didn't think that I knew they were setting up for a match with him and Gunther, but I didn't think that they were setting up for Gunther to be his last opponent. Um, so like when that happened, and they announced that this was his last match, and he was going to retire after this from in-ring action. They're making that very known. They keep speaking on that this is his retirement from in-ring action. This is not a retirement from WWE. So I'm assuming he'll have a Legends contract. I'm assuming he'll be in the next 2K game. That's normally what they do when they retire. Um, so, but I didn't like the build up for this match. I didn't think the build up for this match was good. Like I said, I understand that they discussed they had the altercation in Bad Blood in Atlanta when it was here, and he went to training ever since then. Said he was getting ready for his last match. He was going to figure out who's next, and then when they announced that Saturday night's main event was in Atlanta, and I was like, ugh, this is where he's probably going to do his last match at. I didn't think it was going to happen until Gunther came out on Raw and he hit his music, and Goldberg came out, told him he was next. And, love Goldberg to death. But yeah, this definitely needs to be, your last match. You had some impact during the match. You speared the barricade, nice. I'm glad you got it from that. Last time when you were facing Brock or the Undertaker, you missed a spear and you concussed yourself, and this was just it was okay for what it was. Um, he actually has a knee injury. He injured his knee. I think in his last match he did. He injured his knee. He rehabbed that. He got better. He had surgery on it. Rehab, came back, and you could see it in the match. He went to hurting. Knee was hurting. He tried to fight through it, but you could tell he was hurt. It was hurting him a little bit, or a lot, because like I say, he was limping on the real bad. And then Gunther, texted me, goes at him. When I knew that Goldberg didn't have much left in him was when he went for that jackhammer. The spear was nice. I'll give him the spear. Spear, he can still hit it. It still looks like his impact will look like it looks like it hurts. But that jackhammer, the jackhammer is not as powerful as it always been. Like I said, I get it. I know he's up in age, but I'm proud to see him still get in the ring. I'm proud to see that his son has the option of either doing football or WWE, whichever one he chooses to do. And, you know, it's cool. I think it's cool for Goldberg. I'm proud that you had your last match. I hope that you stick to that. And I really hope that you just let this be the farewell thing. Uh, um, with that. And I'm gonna say the last thing for that to be. I know it's Saturday night's main event. It's not like considered like a big pay per view. It's on NBC, so you watch it on NBC or Peacock. I watch it on Peacock. And right when Goldberg gets up there to give his speech, all we get is thank you fans and I hate I lost. Do apologize for losing. And then it just cut him off. I know they could probably post it on YouTube, chop it up, post it on YouTube. We'll be able to see the speech, and it's that's cool. But they should when somebody retires like that, WWE y'all should be able to have enough time to where they can have their match and they can be able to have a speech. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know with Seth getting hurt, it changed a lot of stuff probably, but we still should have got a chance to hear his speech while watching the show. I shouldn't have to close out the show, then go to YouTube to hear his speech. I think that's ridiculous, and y'all definitely gotta, you know, you know, work on that because I don't like y'all doing that. I don't think that's a good idea. Um, with people having to retire, like just give him a chance to speak. I know y'all probably gonna try to save it for him to do a interview or something like that. Cool, but you already had him up there. You had Michael Cole in the ring. Give him more time. Yeah, cut off NBC, but it's on Peacock. Let it keep running. Like that's all I'm saying. I just think that you know Goldberg was a staple. Goldberg helped shape WCW. Goldberg helped push WWE. Don't have that man to do a lot in both companies. You know what I'm saying? So don't do him like that. He has a huge legacy. I think that y'all did good with the match. Like I said, Gunther helped him out. Gunther, uh, you know, took the hits. You know what I'm saying? He did what he needed to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think that we just gotta work on that time in WWE. Like, don't keep cutting off good speeches. Cause I'm looking forward to hearing this speech. I'm gonna find it on YouTube, and like I said, I watch it, and I can come back here on here and break it down if I need me to. But just two of the main things that I took from the show, like I said, I think the show was amazing. But the two things that I just really, really, really wanted to talk about tonight was Seth Rollins' injury, is it a work, and Goldberg. Those are my two main things that I definitely want to talk about. Um, Tomorrow night, or tonight, I guess you could say, is Evolution. Like I said, I'm gonna watch that, and then I have that episode recap up, and I'll pick my two favorites out of that. But that may be a longer episode because, like I said, women's wrestling is doing great. I love watching it, and I'm really ready for an all women's show. But we'll get that soon. I hope. WWE got lots of they're working on, and yeah. So just tune into the channel, subscribe to the channel, love the channel, please, guys. This is your Wrestling Maniac, and I'm out. Peace.